Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Jamie Pollock. My company is Royalwise. You can always find us online at royalwise.com. And this is a quick little video to help you learn how to scan using the Apple application Image Capture. I get asked all the time about scanners and scanning and how to use them. Quite often when you get an Epson scanner or an HP scanner, they have some software that they install, the Epson Control Center, the HP Scan app. And a lot of times those apps aren't fully functional or they're just kind of lacking in my opinion. And so I want everybody to know that actually Apple gives you a way to scan off of any scanner using an application they built into your computer called Image Capture. So first off, let's go find Image Capture and I'll give you a little tour on how to use it. Come on, follow me. We're going to come down here to our launch pad. Our launch pad, of course, is where we can launch all of our applications, and we come in here and we see what applications are installed on our computer. Now, they put Image Capture in what they call the Other folder. So right down here is a folder called Other, and this is where they put all of their utilities and different things like that. When we come in here, we see we have the airport utility, or we could find the keychain in here, but right here is Image Capture. So I clicked on Image Capture and went ahead and opened it up. Now, once it opens up, first thing we need to look at is over here in the left column to find the devices that are connected to our computer. These should be our printers or our all-in-ones that have a scanner built in. Sometimes they'll show up under the shared area, and if so, you might just have to hit the hide or show button so they expand and show it to you. But if we click on the scanner, then we should be able to get that over here on the other side. Now, first thing is that we don't have a lot of options here. We're like pictures. What does that mean? US letter. That's kind of the size of the paper, I assume. So the first thing we want to do is hit this button that says Show Details. And if I hit the Show Details button, we actually get a lot of more options than we did before. And if we want to, we can always hide the details if we want to. No big problem there. Also, you'll notice down here there's an overview button. This button is very important so that if we change what's on the scanner, we're going to hit overview to take a look so it will refresh what's on the scanner on our screen. So anytime we need to, if I were to go down, and you've noticed I already have a piece of paper in my scanner, I opened it up and I put the piece of paper down. But I was very careful to look for, there's a little arrow in one corner of the scanner that says this right here is the top corner of the piece of paper. Sometimes it's on the right, sometimes it's on the left. But wherever that arrow is the corner you want the paper to kind of tee up against so you know that the paper is straight and where it needs to be. So if we have gone over to the scanner and taken the piece of paper off or put a different piece of paper on, we can always hit overview right here. And then it's going to overview the scan and refresh what's on our screen so that it matches what's on the scanner. Good. Next, we're going to look at a couple things down the right side. First off is the scan mode. I'm using a flatbed scanner right now, but if I wanted to, I could change it to the document feeder. If I were to do that, my scanner has to have a document feeder on the top for the paper to go in. But you notice it says no document loaded. So if you ever get that error message, no document loaded, that means that you're using a document feeder, but you haven't actually fed any pieces of paper in there. The document feeder is great if you're doing multiple pages, especially if you're doing 3 or 5 pages or a contract, and you want to scan them, just scan, 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 get them all into the same document in the same PDF at the end you can. But quite often we're just using the flatbed and we're getting a single piece of paper. And you'll notice now that I've changed to flatbed, this has re-scanned or done their overview, and now I can see what is on the scanner. The next thing we need to do is take a look at these little areas right here. We see these little dots with these lines going around them. This is the selection or the highlight. This is selected or highlighted. And it's trying to guess what part of this piece of paper or image I would like to scan. But as you notice, it's wrong. It's not what I want. So I'm just going to simply hit my delete key and delete that selection. And now with my cursor, I'm going to click and drag across the area of the document that I want scanned in. Now, maybe I just want this top part scanned in because that's the only piece that has some content. Or if I want to, these little dots are called handles. I can click the handles and expand them however I want to. Maybe I want to grab the whole 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, or maybe I just want to have this top part because I'm going to use it as a meme or something. Who knows what I'm going to do? But we need to make sure we have that selection around the area of the document or the picture that we want to have scanned in. Going back to the right column, here's the kind. Is it going to be a color, a black and white, or some text? This happens to be text, and I can change that to text. But you notice it changed it. Now it kind of looks washed out and not super great. So I could change that back to black and white, or what we normally do is just leave it as color and let it be color. Even if it's a black and white, you can say color and it'll still come out black and white. That's really up to you on how you want to handle that. Next is our resolution. This is going to be the dots per inch. How many dots per inch do I need? If you're going to scan a picture and you're going to use that picture on the internet, 72 dpi is the standard resolution for images on the internet. So if you're going to use an image on the internet, 75 is just fine because it's right there next to 72. If you are then also, if alternatively you're going to use this to print out, specifically for professional printing, 300 dpi is actually what we expect to use if we're going to be printing out a professional printout of this photo or of this document. Now, one thing to realize about resolution is the smaller the resolution, the smaller the file. So if I'm going to just scan it in at 75 dpi, I'm going to have a nice small file, something I can email to somebody. If I bump this up to 200 or 300, I'm going to get a 50 megabyte file, 150 megabytes, and I'm not going to be able to email that out to anybody. So I kind of have to make a decision on whether I want to email this out or if I'm going to just publish it somewhere, or maybe I'm going to send it to a professional printer. For this, I'm going to leave it at 72 dpi. Notice the size. The size is based on where these handles are, so if I move the handles, the size changes. So that's what that's referring to. Rotation angle, that's only if we want to rotate. Quite often we do not want to rotate our scans. And then the auto selection, detect separate items. That comes into play, or detect an enclosing box, or turn that off so it's not auto detecting anything. Detecting separate items comes really into play if you have like 2 or 3 photos and you want to put all 3 photos on the scanner at one time, and it'll actually select all 3 of them separately so that it's going to detect those separate items. And then when you hit the scan button, it's going to go through one time and scan the first one, go through a second time, scan the second one, go through a third time and scan the third one. So that's what they're talking about for the auto selection. Next, we have our scan to option. Where do I want to put this document? If we drop this down, I could just scan it and leave it on the desktop so I can find it easily. Maybe I want to put it in my documents folder. Maybe it's a photo or an image I want to put in my pictures folder. But I'll tell you, for images, I would much rather put it right into my photos application so it goes into my photos library and I don't have to worry about it. And for documents, this one's really nice. Maybe I'm just emailing this to somebody. Maybe this is just a contract or something I just need to email out to somebody. And I don't even want a copy on my own hard drive. I don't want to save this. I just need to get it to somebody else. So mail is a great option for that. And other, if there's a subfolder you want to put it in, you're going to click other and then navigate to where you want to put it. So maybe I want it in my documents folder, but I want it in the class examples folder. For today's example, I am going to go ahead and attach this to an email. So I can just send it right out and not have to worry about it. Next option is the name. What do I want to call this? I should give it a meaningful name. I normally call mine test scan because I'm just testing my scanner out or something like that. But this is my humble document. So I'm going to call it the humble doc. Next option is our format. And when we drop this down, we have a lot of different options. But I'll tell you the 2 that you're going to use most often is either JPEG for images or PDF for documents. Also, PNG is another option. It's a portable network graphic. It's going to behave and act just like a JPEG. It can be posted on the internet. It can be sent to people through email, all that kind of stuff. But this is a document, so I'm going to make this one a PDF. Now, when I change it to PDF, you'll notice I have a second option, which is, do I want to combine into a single document? If I check this, the very nice thing is when I hit scan, it's going to make a single document, but then allow me to go over to the scanner, flip the piece of paper out, rescan it, and have that go into the same PDF document that the first one is. So if I've got multiple pages, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages, I can check that checkbox and do multiple scans on the flatbed, and it's all going to go into the same document. Also, if I'm doing the document feeder and it's a 3 to 5 page document, I can check this so that they all go into one document. I'll have a 5-page PDF and not 5 one-page PDFs. That's really nice. Color correction, you can either make it none or manual. And if you go manual, there's a lot of different options. I'm not going to go into all that right now. That's more for photos, not for documents. But just know right here, we've got a color correction option. Okay. I've now selected the area I want to scan. I've decided what I want for the kind, the resolution, and the most important 3 is where am I going to scan it to, what am I going to call it, and what format would I like that ultimate scan to go out in. So I'm going to hit my scan button. Scanner's going to warm up. I'm using kind of an older Canon. It might take it a quick second to do that. But now I can hear it scanning. And immediately it comes up with an email. And there's my document attached to the email. And now I can decide which email address I'd like to send it out from, what email address I'd like to send it to. Give it a good subject. I'm going to call this the scan training document. And then here's my document. Now, another nice thing about email is if I want to, I can actually hit return a couple times and type in some information. Here is the doc, ! Jamie. So they know what it is and where it's coming from. Now that I'm done, I'm just going to hit my send button, and away it goes. Now, you'll notice here is the scan result, and this is very nice that it tells me here is the document, and then it's got a little magnifying glass right here so that I can actually click there and say, like, let's take a look at the document. Where is it? Is it in the Finder? Is it in the Downloads folder? Did I put it on the desktop? This will take you to wherever that document happens to live. Right now, it happens to be in a temporary scan area that Image Capture holds for me. That's probably somewhere deep, deep, deep in the library. But if I were to say, here, I want to put it on the desktop, and then I hit scan, it's going to just drop it on the desktop for me. Here we go. Click the button, and it'll show me where it put it. And it just takes me right to the desktop to show me where that document is. So that's the basics of using image capture specifically for a document. I'm going to do one more thing for you just to have some fun. Let me go over to the scanner real quick, see if I can find this, and switch it out real quick. So this time I'm going to do a picture, and I'm going to go ahead and I've changed it out on the scanner, and now I'm going to hit overview. So let the scanner warm up and overview, and now you get to see me as a young man. There I am. I don't even know how old I am, probably in my mid-teens. But this is a great example where I want it color, but I want it to be a higher resolution. I want to have more capturing of the pixels in the images. This is also when I might need to rotate it, right? Because if you notice, it's a little angled, so maybe I do want to see what happens if I were to rotate it by 10 degrees or something like that, see what happens. Okay, now also here, I want this to go right into my Photos application. I want a copy of this in my Photos, and I'm going to call this Young Jamie. Also, I don't want this to be a PDF. I want this to be a JPEG. Maybe even for this, I want it to be a TIFF. Some people like TIFFs, very high resolution graphics, but a JPEG will be good for me. I'm not going to worry about color correction. Next, let's take a look at this. I've got these handles around the bottom that are around something I don't want to actually scan, so I'm going to delete that real quick. And now I'm going to come back and just highlight the part of the picture that I actually do want to scan. There we go. That looks okay to me. Also, if I wanted to, here's a little handle, and now I can rotate this. Like I said, if we need to rotate that a little bit because the picture's on there just a little bit sideways. Let's see if I can get it just right. Oh, that's so hard to do. But for today, that'll be fine. That's too much. That's fine for me. And now I'm going to hit my scan. It's going to scan that document in, and then immediately open up the Photos app and import that photo into the Photos app. And there we go. Now it's safe and sound in Photos, and I don't have a copy on my hard drive that I have to import later. With that, thank you for spending the time with me. That is Apple's image capture application. It works with all the scanners that you have. Any scanner, any manufacturer that you have, it should work with it just fine. Again, my name is Jamie Pollock. My company is Royalwise. Visit us at royalwise.com and at our YouTube channel, Royalwise. Thanks so much.